We do begin with an ABC News exclusive. Our investigative team has obtained portions of confidential interviews between prosecutors and two of Donald Trump's most high-profile co-defendants in that Georgia election case. The boss is not going to leave. Those words from Trump's attorney Jenna Ellis to prosecutors are part of the confidential tapes obtained exclusively by ABC News and shed possible new light on Donald Trump's mindset in the chaotic days after the 2020 election. The other co-defendant, Sidney Powell, told prosecutors she was in the room repeatedly when Trump was told he lost the election. Both have pleaded guilty to reduced charges in exchange for cooperating with the prosecution. ABC News investigative reporter Olivia Rubin helped break this story and leads us off tonight with the exclusive developments.
His instinct was he had won.
The fake elector plot, as it's been called in the indictment.
Tonight, for the first time, an exclusive look at testimony from two attorneys who aided Donald Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election.
There was a big shouting match in which Rudy called me every name in the book, and I was the worst lawyer he'd ever seen in his life. He called me a bitch.
ABC News exclusively obtaining portions of confidential interviews given by Sidney Powell and Jenna Ellis to the Fulton County District Attorney's Office.
We're here with a proffer witness, Jenna Ellis.
Both are now cooperating with prosecutors in Georgia investigating the former president.
So, look, all I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state.
Were you ever around when anyone told Donald Trump that he had lost the election?
Oh, yeah.
What was President Trump's reaction when, I guess, this cadre of advisors would say you lost?
It was like, they would say that and then they'd walk out and he'd go, see, this is what I deal with all the time.
Ellis and Powell were charged alongside the former president and 16 others, accused of trying to overturn the Georgia election results. They have pled guilty to reduced charges, avoiding jail time by agreeing to cooperate, even disavowing Trump in court.
If I knew then what I know now, I would have declined to represent Donald Trump in these post-election challenges. I look back on this whole experience with deep remorse.
Ellis telling prosecutors she was personally informed by Trump advisor Dan Scavino that Trump had no plans to leave the White House, even though Joe Biden was unmistakably the winner of the 2020 election.
I emphasized to him I thought that the claims and the ability to challenge the election results was essentially over. And he said to me in a kind of excited tone, well, we don't care and we're not going to leave. He said, well, the boss, meaning President Trump, he said the boss is not going to leave under any circumstances. We are just going to stay in power. And I said to him, well, it doesn't quite work that way, you realize. And he said, we don't care.
Trump has pled not guilty in the case and denied all wrongdoing. In a statement to ABC News, his attorney said the, quote, purported conversation, as told by Ellis, is, quote, meaningless, and that the only, quote, salient fact is that Trump did leave the White House. Trump and his company are facing penalties of up to $250 million in a civil fraud trial. He's also been indicted in 3 other criminal cases, all 3 pending trial next year.
But this is a political indictment. This was a Biden indictment.
In Georgia, it's full steam ahead for Fulton County prosecutors in their case against the former president.
It is now the duty of my office to prove these charges in the indictment beyond a reasonable doubt at trial.
Sidney Powell explaining a plan she says was discussed in the Oval Office after the 2020 election to appoint her special counsel.
He was specifically willing to appoint me special counsel. And then about the 3rd time we went through that scenario, Cipollone, I think, said, you can name her anything you want, Mr. President, and nobody's going to pay a bit of attention to it.
Powell says she believes that would have given her the apparent authority to have voting machines seized.
That would have allowed the machines to be secured in 4 or 5 states or cities and see about doing a bipartisan or military or whatever everybody agreed on review of the machines.
Powell said she followed up with Trump's White House chief of staff the next day, who brushed her off.
I called Mark Meadows the next morning just to run it to ground and said, hey, when can I come pick up my badge and my key? He essentially laughed. I mean, he said, it's not going to happen.
As more and more people were telling Trump he lost, Powell says Trump started to rely on her because she still believed he had won.
Did I know anything about election law? No.
Are you convinced that he had won now?
Yeah.
She says she left town ahead of January 6th, fearing what might happen.
I'd told everybody that I needed to get the hell out of D.C. I just saw it as a really bad idea to have a rally over the end of the Trump presidency.
As part of their cooperation deals, Powell and Ellis have agreed to testify moving forward as prosecutors continue to build their case.
Just fascinating to hear and see those tapes. Our thanks to Olivia for that exclusive reporting.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.